Hi, my name is Sophia, and today we're going to talk about topic 2.2 of the ACE International History textbook. How and why did international tensions remain high in the period between 1920 and 1923? Start with key terms, pause if needed, I'm moving on. Implementing the post-World War I peace settlements proved difficult. This failure created ongoing tension between major powers. The USA, Britain, and France began to disagree, especially after the US rejected the peace settlement. Russia remained isolated due to fear of communism, and at the same time, new leaders and unresolved border disputes increased instability. Now onto Benito Mussolini. He founded the Fascist Party in 1919 in Italy and came to power in 1922. He established a dictatorship and aimed to control all aspects of Italian society. His foreign policy focused on expansion and challenging peace settlement. His actions increased tension, especially in the Mediterranean. Now onto US isolationism. After the war, American opinion was divided. Democrats supported international cooperation, while Republicans supported isolationism. In 1919, the Senate rejected both the peace settlement and the membership in the League of Nations. Since the Senate was primarily Republican, and Republicans mostly supported isolationism. In 1921, the USA signed a separate peace agreement with Germany, and this weakened collective security in League of Nations. France felt exposed without the US support. Britain also reduced involvement in European affairs and focused on its empire. France became more aggressive in trying to control Germany. Now on to attitudes towards Russia. After the Russian Revolution, Russia became communist under Vladimir Lenin. Western nations feared the spread of revolution and communism. Britain, France, Japan, and others intervened in the Russian Civil War to stop the Bolsheviks. This failed. By 1921, the Bolsheviks secured control. Russia remained isolated, and France lost a potential ally against Germany. Fear of communism increased across Europe and influenced political decisions. Now, German hyperinflation. After the war, the USA demanded repayment of loans that it gave to the Allied powers. Britain and France depended on Germany and the German reparations to pay these debts. Germany struggled to meet payments under the Treaty of Versailles. Between 1921 and 1923, Germany experienced hyperinflation. The government printed more money to pay debts, and the value of the German mark collapsed. Savings became practically worthless. Workers were paid multiple times a day, and this created economic chaos and political instability. As you can see in the pictures, money was so worthless that kids played with it like it was toys, and people literally burned it. Now on to the Ruhr crisis. In 1923, Belgium and France occupied the Ruhr, which was Germany's main industrial region, and they occupied it after missed reparations. Germany responded with passive resistance. Workers simply refused to cooperate, so the production stopped. The German government kept paying workers by printing money, making inflation even worse. And this crisis increased tension between France and Germany, and also between France and Britain. Overall attitudes toward Germany included that Britain wanted Germany to recover economically to restore trade, as it had vested interest in it. France wanted Germany weakened to prevent future threats, and this disagreement caused division between the Allies. Britain opposed the Ruhr occupation and viewed it as too aggressive. Hence, the relationship between France and Britain worsened. But France believed that it was necessary for security, so this disagreement weakened the overall cooperation. Next, the Corfu incident. In 1923, Italy occupied the Greek island of Corfu after Italian officials were killed, supposedly by Greek people. Mussolini demanded compensation and refused to follow the League directions to withdraw from Corfu. So Greece was forced to pay. This showed the weakness of the League of Nations, as major powers ignored its authority. Britain and France tolerated Mussolini because they saw him as as a barrier against communism, as fascism is by definition something that opposes communism. So now let's briefly go over the tensions. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk led Turkey in reclaiming its lost territory. This led to the Treaty of Lausanne, which replaced the earlier settlement and restored Turkish control. This proved treaties could be challenged. And tensions also grew between the USA and Japan over influence in East Asia. Japan's expansion threatened Western economic interests. Now, international attempts to reduce tension. First, the Washington Naval Conference. Its goal was to prevent a naval arms race and stabilize East Asia. It produced three main agreements: the Five-Power Treaty, which limited naval strength; the Four-Power Treaty, which respected the Pacific territories; and the Nine-Power Treaty, which supported China's sovereignty and open trade. These reduced tensions, but lacked enforcement. Next, the Genoa Conference. European countries met to solve economic problems. The USA did not attend. Britain and France disagreed over reparations. No major agreements were reached. Next, the Treaty of Rapallo. Germany and Soviet Russia agreed to cooperate economically and militarily. Germany used this to bypass restrictions from Treaty of Versailles. This alarmed France and Poland. And how Germany used this agreement to bypass restrictions from Treaty of Versailles is that it began producing tanks and training its military on the Russian territory. And that's also why, on the previous slide, on the picture on the left, you can see Russia and Germany creating a secret alliance. Because at first, nobody really knew about the fact that Germany would train its soldiers on Russian soil. Next, the Treaty of Lausanne. It replaced the earlier treaty with Turkey, which was the Treaty of Sèvres. It recognized Turkish independence and removed reparations. It marked a successful challenge to the peace settlement. Now, economic and social conditions. All major countries faced economic problems. France and Belgium rebuilding war damage, Britain losing its trade, Germany facing collapse, Japan facing competition, and the USA facing reduced exports and rising unemployment. Economic hardship increased unrest and fear of revolution. Now onto the fear of communism. The Bolsheviks aimed to spread revolution through the Comintern, which was created in 1919. Western countries feared this expansion. Britain eventually recognized Soviet Russia for trade reasons. France remained hostile. This fear influenced alliances and decisions. Leaders prioritized stopping communism over enforcing peace treaties. Now, the role of the USA. The US refusal to join the League weakened it. The demand for loan repayments increased pressure on Europe. Britain and France depended on German reparations, but Germany could not pay, and this created a cycle of economic instability. Now on to French policy. France focused on security. It demanded full reparations and took direct action, such as the Ruhr occupation. These actions worsened Germany's economy and damaged relationships with Britain. And all in all, tensions remained high because of the weak peace settlements, economic instability, conflicting national interests, fear of communism, and weak international cooperations. These factors prevented stability and increased the risk of future conflicts. And this is the timeline, and that's it.